Nobody is in your body but you and your beautiful trillions of cells. You are a parent and a CEO to your body. There is nobody else that's going to do this healing. And I read this quote from A Course in Miracles, the book I always talk about. Healing does not come from anyone else. You must accept guidance from within. The guidance must be what you want, or it will be meaningless to you. That is why healing is a collaborative adventure. I can tell you what to do, but you must collaborate by believing that I know what you should do. It's like believing in your immune system, believing that if I have this meal, if I do this workout, things are working in my favor. My body is working to put on lean muscle mass and eat my fat away, like whatever you want. My body is improving my skin tone. I'm improving my coordination and balance. I'm improving my memory function. I've talked to so many people within the last year who are having problems with their memory function, but the memory center of the brain, we call it the hippocampus. It is just a collaboration of cells, meaning that it's not like your memory center is broken. You can literally create new cells in your brain. Hippocampal neurogenesis, right? Creation of new cells. How do we create more cells in the body? Well, part of that is going to be coming from our energy centers just in general. Like, we can't create new cells if our body is on 30%. We got to put ourselves on the charger. How do you put yourself on the charger? You're going to be eating your amino and fatty acids, the full profile of that, so we can get plenty of mitochondrial production in the cell, right? We want enough lysine and methionine for carnitine production in the cell. We want to get all those amino acids. We want to make sure that our body is not in a state of stress, that it has what it needs to be in a creative place, right? If your body's in stressed out place, you're not going to be creating. You're not going to be having your libido on. You're not going to be working on your skin infrastructure. You're going to be in that immediate threat zone. And we're going to have a lot of inflammation active, a lot of the immune system active, and want to make sure that we get plenty of resources, right? The fire truck is going towards the house that's on fire. It has to have enough water to put out that fire. If it doesn't have enough water, which is your food sources, you're going to put out that fire like somewhat, but it's still going to be smoldering. The fire is still going to be there. It's going to be rampant. You want to have plenty of resources. Hook the hose up to the fire hydrant, right? Hook your body up to the amino and the fatty acids so that you can have enough resources to put the fire out. So I don't know, it just always comes back to this cell picture. I read this really great book years ago. It was called Oxygen by Nick Lane. I was like in an existential crisis essentially, and wanting to just ask, like, how did we get here? How did these bodies form? And so in the book Oxygen, Nick Lane postulates that we postulate where our bodies came from. Evolutionary biology, it comes from the amino acids, right? We come essentially from the stars. All the amino acids are in space. And how did it end up on Earth that how did we become humans? These cells, these are different from bacterial cells. The animal cell is called a multicellular organism, right? So like we always talk about mitochondria. These are essentially these are whole organisms inside of our cells. Mitochondria actually have their own DNA. We call it mitochondrial DNA. And they postulate over the course of many years ago that mitochondria ended up getting inside of a single-celled organism, which we know as bacteria. We have plenty of bacteria in our bodies, but mitochondria hopped into a bacterial cell, a single-cell organism, and decided to work together with that organism so that it could produce a lot more energy. And boom, then came humans. I mean, over years and years did we come about into the places that we are now. You think back to like cavemen and language, how language has evolved, and just like it is so beautiful, like our memory capacity, how that is evolved, our access to knowledge, like through a phone. We have, if I don't know a word, I can just look it up on my phone real quick. Like our access to knowledge, I don't know, where I'd be. I always think about like if I were my parents' age And like, because of my passion for the cell, like, we have not known about the cell for all that long. We've not known about all of the organs of our body. We've not known much about the brain. Within the last 20 years, like, our knowledge has accelerated so far. And I think of myself, like, if I was at my parents' age, like, how hard I would have to work for it to gather this knowledge. Like, I'd have to go to the library. Like, how would I even know that I was, like, interested in biology or interested in psychology and stuff? It's like, it's crazy how much access we have to information. And I always read this quote now: may you always be blessed to have the clarity to know what is and what isn't meant for you. And that is the same thing with, searching for information. How do I know that this information I'm searching about my body, it's so, the information available to us is wide, and it's controversial in some areas. But how do I know what's meant for me? What's meant for you will bring you peace and will bring you clarity. It will bring you joy. And you will feel that, like, as you go through, especially like changing your food groups and experiment with like what works for you. Like, you're on the right track when you start waking up in the morning and you feel like you are actually rested. Like, I will say that, like, you feel good in your body. If you're still in pain, if you're still feeling tired and reliant on caffeine and other things to have your body be stimulated, everything that we need comes from within, right? So that quote says, healing does not come from anyone else. You must accept guidance from within. So you can constantly have this conversation with your body, with your cells. We have this deep intelligence within us. Like, your heartbeat is not asking you to beat. It will give you answers. Asking, you shall receive. And, it will just be subtle. Like, throughout my journey, I've gotten just intuitive hits. Like, the body is an intuitive guide, an intuitive compass. And I've asked, like, what should my morning routine look like? Like, what could I do to help regain my energy levels in my body? Like, what do I need to do at nighttime? Like, how would my nighttime routine help me rest and digest at night? And what do I need to do in this moment to help myself? So I really believe that the body is constant communication. I'm just always in awe by the trillions of cells that decided to work together and bring me my body and then bring me other people in the environment. Like, it's so crazy that, you meet people. I meet people now and I'm like, you're just a bunch of cells. You're just, it's just beautiful. And that we all have this spirit inside. We all have that spirit inside that is, it's light because when the spirit leaves the body, everything becomes rigid and stiff, and we lose that vibrancy. But we are made of light. We come from light, and that's what everybody is. And I want to read this other quote that I read recently in another video, just because I love it. And a lot of people tell me that I come off as appearing calm, and I think I'm constantly, in my own mind, I feel more chaotic. Like, I feel like my wheels are spinning all the time. But I've constantly been working the last few years to ground my physical body to help me feel more grounded in my spiritual and my emotional metabolism. So I love this quote because, again, you are so beautiful. You are so strong. Like, the deep intelligence within you, the capacity for energy within you is like, it's so there. And if you haven't felt it, it's just untapped potential. It's always there and waiting for you to choose your own energy, choose your peace and your calmness and your certainty. It says, the certain are perfectly calm because they are not in doubt. They do not raise questions because nothing questionable enters their mind. This holds them in perfect serenity because this is what they share, knowing what they are. You share your calmness and your peace because you know that is what your body is built of. You're not meant to be riding on this cortisol train. We're not meant to be riding on this inflammatory train, this pain train. Okay, your body's meant to feel good. You're meant to feel fluid in your environment and open and not having tension, The certain are perfectly calm. You're perfectly calm in your knowing and in your own intelligence, you know? So I do this workout, I eat this food. I'm perfectly calm in my knowing that these actions are working towards my highest health. You know, if I'm doing all these actions and then I'm still feeling like there's doubt and uncertainty, like, you know, this happens a lot with people, you know, all the time. We live in a state of doubt that, you know, I'm eating all this food. It could be great food, but maybe it's going to help. It's going to make me fat. Maybe I'm eating too much. You know, it's like, don't give in to these fears. Don't give in to this doubt, because everything that you're doing is for your highest and greatest good. And you're the only person who can choose that, right? Healing must come from within. You must choose it. You must choose to believe that your actions bring you more clarity and more peace, and continue to build. And I found that the doubt goes away. It's like a muscle. It's like you're flexing your spiritual strength when you believe in what you are and what your body's doing. My body is healing. You don't have to flex that muscle as much. It just becomes, you become toned. Like, you exercise the muscle and you just become toned, you know? It's just automatic. It's like posture muscles. Work to put posture muscles on your body and you will regulate your autonomic nervous system. Our autonomic nervous system is the system that we call of the subconscious mind. It is our feminine aspect in our consciousness. And, you know, when you train with her, when you get your posture muscles on, when you train your autonomic nervous system, the subconscious mind, it is there for you. You know, you are exercising the masculine portion of you to train and to be centered and in your stillness and your knowing and your clarity. So I hope that made sense. I'm going to definitely work again to flesh out the feminine and the masculine balance and how that comes up in our hormones, because it's so fascinating. It is so fun to talk about. And yeah, I hope this video is helpful for you. If you want to like, share, or subscribe, you're more than welcome to, of course. You can follow my journey through this light creation. And I just wish you the best. I'm your biggest fan. Don't forget how beautiful you are, of course. Say kind things to yourselves because they're listening to you. And as always, good luck.